Understanding legal monopolies, definition, mechanisms, and historical examples. What is a legal monopoly? A legal monopoly is a form of monopoly that is established and sanctioned by governmental authority. It exists when a single entity is permitted to provide a particular product or service to the public at a regulated price, effectively eliminating competition in that sector. Legal monopolies are sometimes referred to as statutory monopolies. These entities can be either independently operated while still under governmental regulation or fully government-run and managed. Characteristics of legal monopolies. 1. Government authorization. Legal monopolies receive explicit approval or licensing from the government to operate without competition in a given market. 2. Regulated pricing. The prices for the products or services provided by a legal monopoly are typically regulated by governmental agencies to ensure they remain affordable for consumers. 3. Public benefit vision. Legal monopolies are usually justified on the premise that their existence serves a critical public interest. This includes providing essential services at a consistent and affordable rate. How legal monopolies work. Legal monopolies are often instituted and governments determine that certain services or products are so essential that universal access is necessary. This can be seen in cases where competition would lead to inefficiencies or excessive costs. In the United States, for example, AT&T functioned as a legal monopoly until its breakup in 1982. It was believed that having a single entity providing telephone services would ensure affordability and reliable access across the country. Other historical examples include the operation of railroads and airlines, where legal monopoly status was perceived as beneficial for the broader public good. Legal versus de facto monopolies. It's important to differentiate legal monopolies from de facto monopolies. A de facto monopoly exists when a single company dominates a market without express government endorsement, usually resulting from competitive practices, technological advantages, or significant barriers to entry that deter new competitors. Life cycle of legal monopolies. While the concept of legal monopolies may hold water initially, history shows that they often struggle to maintain their status indefinitely. As competition emerges due to technological advances or shifts in market dynamics, legal monopolies may face challenges and failures, prompting regulatory reform. Eventually, competition is often found to drive prices down more effectively than continued regulation through monopolistic structures. Historical examples of legal monopolies. Legal monopolies have a rich history, rooted in various commodities and services across the globe. 1. Statute of Monopolies, 1623. This act passed by the English Parliament is one of the early examples that established a conceptual framework for monopolies and patents. It marked a shift from royal favors toward a more regulated system. 2. Trading companies. The Dutch East India Company and the British East India Company were granted monopolistic rights by their governments to control trade in specific regions. This led to violence and warfare in the 17th century to protect and expand their trading monopolies. 3. Government-controlled commodities. Monopolies on products like alcohol and tobacco have commonly been utilized by states for revenue generation and social control. Today, various regions still have state-enforced monopolies on services such as gambling and lotteries. 4. Controlled substances. In the realm of pharmaceuticals, compounds like cocaine have experienced periods of legal monopolization. Mallinckrodt Incorporated, for instance, is recognized as the only legal supplier of cocaine in the U.S. for medical use, highlighting the government's role in regulating access to controlled substances. Conclusion. Legal monopolies represent a unique intersection of government authority and market dynamics, providing essential services under controlled conditions. While they exist to protect consumer interests in certain contexts, their long-term efficacy is often challenged by the principles of capitalism and the natural emergence of competition. Understanding legal monopolies adds perspective to how various industries have evolved and highlights the balance that must be struck between regulation and free market principles.